Hello, my friends. Welcome to Devil's Lake Food. Food for thought and food for your tummy. Hey, I'm a poor man, but I got my 2 cents. I got a lot to say today, and here it goes. I took the dogs for a walk today. Yeah, kind of looks something like this.
Yeah, please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth.
Fed the chickens. I fed them some dog food today, dry dog food. They're such good watch hens. I guess that's why. They'll start barking at me soon. Who knows? They already come when I call them. So they're like dogs. Got the cat now, like chewing the camera, making it shake. So, yeah, the chickens, they're doing good. Ducks are doing good. Look something like this today. I have my Molokai Hawaii hat on. I bought this hat, let's see, 26 years ago on the island of Molokai at the Molokai Surf Shop. And I recently threw it in the washing machine. And it's kind of messed up looking, but still okay. Uh, Thinking of Hawaii, I was just watching Mad Statter on YouTube. I don't know if you guys watch her. Some people like her, some people don't. Doesn't matter. I'm not telling you to
It's
watch her.
actually
I'm
called
not telling you
Chatter with
not to watch her.
Statter if you're going to
Well,
look it
check
up.
it out. I do. Anyway, she's part of some Hawaii thing that is, I don't know. She likes Photo Luke. I like Photo Luke. I always tune in on Wednesday nights, even though Photo Luke does things every night and every day. And Lono Music, I like that, and she likes that, and he's from Molokai, I believe. He's got a great song, about Molokai and a bunch of other stuff too that I like. Hawaiian stuff. Uh, hey, a viewer said, "Can you stop saying uh?" So I was going to write back, but let me just tell you now, I probably cannot. What can I tell you? Anyway, I'm talking about Hawaii because of the Hawaii hat. But anyway, I'm bringing this up.
Chatter
My
with
mother,
Statter.
I was telling her how I went to Amazon and I bought this theatrical makeup that's for your teeth. It's like teeth paint and it's white. And I was going to show up and have lunch with a friend of mine I haven't seen in a couple years. And she said, "Hey, let me know how that goes. That sounds really funny." And yeah, so here's the stuff, by the way, that I bought. It should be funny. Uh, the idea came to me because there was this travel commercial about a travel website, where they're like, "Hey, you paid too much for your hotel," and there's like a guy. He's got this crazy white teeth, and that's all I think about. It makes me crazy. I forget what the commercial's about. And also, I think it's a stupid commercial because they never mention how, hey, if you get a hotel room at the same hotel really cheap, it's probably in the basement or something, and I have a really great view. At least that's what I find. I think I'm saving a lot of money and I got a really bad view. And I go, hey, what happened to that great view I had before? And they were like, yeah, you saved $70. Forget that stuff, huh? Anyway, yeah, that's the stuff there. And I'm going to put it on. I'm just going to show up. I'm not going to say anything. And we're going to see what happens. I think it'll be fun. So the good old wife was like, man, I could really enjoy some tiramisu cake today. And I said, hey, Walmart's now delivering, even though it's, 30 miles away from the store. They are delivering. Let's get them to bring some. It could be here in a couple hours. So I did add some other things to the list. Like we got the tiramisu, and let's see what else. We got some salt, which I'm going to tell you about. And we got some dog food, some dry dog food I bought. And we got, let's see, what else was it? Oh, I bought some navel oranges and I bought some cilantro. And she also wanted like a hard taco, like a Taco Bell kind of thing. So I got hard taco shells and lettuce and tomato. And I think some stuff, bathroom stuff, like some soap and some milk. Oh, she wanted Captain Crunch. She had a craving for. So I got all that stuff. Maybe there was a couple more things. I don't know. Came out to $100, and I gave them a really great tip when they dropped it off for coming here. And the guy left. Oh, I even gave him a pair of gloves. Yeah, I just noticed like it's kind of lights flashing on and off. I wonder if that's going to show up in this. Oh well, deal with it, okay? If it does, sorry. Well, the dude gets stuck in the mud, and he wasn't really on the road at my house, so that was weird. And I tried to push him by standing in the mud and pushing him, but he wasn't really that good at it, and he just had a minivan, so there was no traction. And he said, "Hey, don't worry about it. I got this free service. It'll come get me out." So I was like, "Okay." And yeah, let me show you what that looked like for him. This is what it looked like when he finally left. The next day, I went to see it because it was kind of dark. Anyway, thinking to myself, oh, what a dum dum getting stuck in the mud like that. And uh, I think I should have shut up. And I'll tell you what happened a little bit later. But speaking of shutting up, why does anybody really have to say something bad about somebody? When I was mentioning to somebody, the other YouTube people, like I like to watch, they were giving me a hard time. Like I was just mentioning Mad Statter, and they were like, "Oh, what's she in a wheelchair?" And I'm like, "That's what you got from that? Uh, what? What does that have to do with anything? I don't get it." And then they were like, "Oh, that guy, he just shows the same footage and sits there." And I go, "Well, I enjoy it if you don't." And it makes me wonder, like, you know, Lono Music, yeah, they were like, "Oh, that's like computerized or something, and he plays guitar." And I'm like, "What the heck?" When I was growing up, there was this guy. There I go. There was this guy who his name was Johnny Taco, and it was an island in New Jersey I lived in, and that guy played every day for years and years and years. He always had a gig, and he just sat there with like programmed music and the drums and everything like that, and then he played guitar and stuff like that, and I thought to myself, I really, really like this, and I would always go see him. And then somebody was bad mouthing him about it, and I'm like, well, he works all the time, and I like it. Well, why do I even talk to you? So, yeah, sometimes I wonder why people only have bad things to say. They're like really excited about the bad things too. Good things, they're like, meh. Bad things, oh, they just love it. I always mention Hitler, it seems, when I talk about like dumb things like this, because I often wonder, like, I seen this documentary once, and it was like Hitler's family, his grandchildren, and stuff like that. And, his cousin and things. And I started thinking, like, man, people must like hate those people. Be like, you're Hitler's sixth cousin. I hate your guts. And the poor guy's like, well, what do I got to do with it? Like, I haven't seen the guy in 5 years. I don't know. I guess they probably all had to change their names or something like that. Because somebody's bad mouthing them and they don't even know them. Who knows how this stuff goes? Too much hate in the world, people. Too much hate. That's all I have to say. Hawaii. I talked about Hawaii again. Oh, those island people. They probably hated you on Molokai and stuff. And I go, I never had a problem with the Hawaiian people. Yeah, they expressed their opinion. They don't want this to turn into Waikiki on Molokai. And yeah, we don't want cruise ships to pull up here, so we stop it. And they make up excuses like they say it's the wind or something like that. They can't pull in, but nah, we make sure they don't. And there's no building taller than a coconut tree, and blah blah blah. We hate you people, white people, blah. Never had a problem with them. Never. You know. I think that's because I have respect for people. That's the only thing I can think of. I had more problems with the white people on the island, to tell you the truth, not the Hawaiian people. And yeah, there's radical people and everything. People, uh, they're too religious or they're too whatever. Okay, but I never had a problem with them so many times. I mean, I knew my place. There was a couple things they invited me to, and I was like, "Whoa, that might be a little bit too Hawaiian for me." But they invited me and they wanted me to go. And tell you the truth, I should have went because I'm sure I would have been fine. So, uh, in the news, there's this stuff about chocolate. Oh, I just thought of something funny when I got thirsty here. I was gonna pull out some Hawaiian punch. Have some Hawaiian punch and listen to Lono do some music. That's really dumb. When I was at the College of Hawaii, the culinary school, I mentioned that. I was like, "Do you guys hate like that they have Hawaiian punch? Like, do you want to sue them or something for this crappy stuff? It's not even made in Hawaii. It's just like dumb." But anyway, I bought some of these little bottles. I got the blue one just in case I dropped down and the ambulance came, and they wouldn't think that I'm bleeding eternally because I had the red one. That's kind of stupid, but that's a real thing. I always worry if I had a bunch of beets or something like that, I have a stroke, they'll all be like, "Ah, he's bleeding eternally." It's internally. Sounds like I was saying, ah, never mind. Anyway, bring up another person who's, well, not just they don't just do a podcast. They're, he's a great comedian and Netflix and everything like that. Randy, oh gosh, I can't believe I just said Randy. Dusty Slay. Yes, Dusty Slay. uh anyway, he didn't do his podcast and he sent somebody else. And I noticed he speaks really good. And a lot of people speak really good. And maybe that's what you need to do when you do one of these things, to speak really good. And then I watched somebody else and they were talking worse than me and they were super popular. So maybe that's not it. But I want to say his name was Connor. He's another comedian. And man, he has a really great voice. It belongs on the radio or on stage. Anyway, why did I bring that up? I don't know. I forget. Maybe it made sense to you. Maybe it didn't. Anyway, I want to say my 2 cents here. Chocolate. Apparently, Hershey bars and things, this is in the news. And it doesn't go this deep as I'm going to, but it is a story that was in the news. And it's how big chocolate corporations stop using chocolate in their candy bars, like Hershey and stuff like that, because the stuff's really expensive. And I was like, you stop using chocolate in chocolate bars? That makes no sense. And they had like the grandson or something of Reese's saying they changed the recipe and stuff like that because the beans are really expensive to make it. And I was like, what? How can you not have chocolate in chocolate bars? This can't be right. They didn't tell us. Yeah, people. So I look on the wrapper and it said like chocolate candy. It used to say milk chocolate. Now it doesn't because these beans are really expensive. I couldn't believe it. I just, yeah, I just, I couldn't believe it. So apparently it takes like 40 beans to make a full size candy bar, and there's like 480 beans in a pound, and the stuff's really expensive. So, they looked for some other way to make chocolate. Okay, that's fine. You have a chocolate company, you can't make chocolate anymore, it's too expensive. You just don't make chocolate. You don't just give us some crap stuff. That brings it to my next point. Walmart. So that delivery that I told you, I got salt. And I usually get Redmond salt, I think it's called. It's from the Great Salt Lake in Utah. And it's kind of pricey. They call it like ancient salt. The Great Salt Lake in Utah has as much salt or more, something like that, as the Dead Sea. I don't know. But been there plenty of times, lived there for a while in Utah, not on the lake. But I spent a lot of time there and kayaking. And there was a place called Antelope Island where they would let buffaloes roam there. I would always go camping and stuff like that, even before I had a car. Once I rented a limousine when I first got to Utah, and we went and had a little 2-man tent. And then said, drop me off at Antelope Island at the Great Salt Lake and pick me up in a week at 4 o'clock. And the guy did. It was a good time. I really enjoyed it. But I go and I'm looking on the website, and Morton has a salt, and it says from the Great Salt Lake in Utah, sea salt. And one of them had no iodine, which I usually get. They say the best salt has no iodine. Well, uh, I needed some iodine because I haven't had it in a while. And I figure I need that. It's a necessary nutrient. So I said, let me get the Morton salt that from the Great Salt Lake that has the iodine. So I looked, it said, yeah, Utah. And then I get salt. And it looks like this. And I noticed in the front it didn't say from Utah's Great Salt Lake, even though that's what I ordered. And then I looked and it's like product of Israel. Now, has nothing to do with politics, has nothing to do with anything besides I just want what I order. I just want what I buy. I don't want something else, or I would have bought something else. So that stuff's gone back to the store. I'm going to be a nitwit and go, I'd like to return this salt, please. Yes, it's not from the Great Salt Lake. And if I wanted salt from Israel, which is probably just fine, I would have asked for it. But it's kind of like the chocolate. These companies seem to be doing stuff to us, and we don't have a choice. They're hoping we just don't notice it. Well, everybody, notice it and bring it back. It's not you being an ass if you just want the stuff that you buy, the stuff you spend your money on, you know? I mean, what's next? We go into a clothing store and I go, hey, you got that shirt I ordered? And they go, here's your pants. No. Yeah, that's extreme, but I mean, come on. I just can't handle this kind of stuff. So, back to my day today. Okay. After, like I said, it's the very next day. And I was kind of laughing about the kid getting stuck. I get in my car. Yes, I'm stuck in the mud. I dig this hole. It happens really quick. Like I couldn't believe it. My whole car is like sunk down. It's got those low little tires, a Toyota Corolla. I probably need to send a tow truck out to pull me out of it. Luckily, I don't have anywhere to go really soon, so we'll see what happens in a couple of days. Maybe I'll drop some kitty litter down there. I have no idea. But on top of that, and me saying, oh, that kid's probably stupid or something, I think that maybe a day or two ago, I went into my car and it was kind of stuck on a chunk of ice. My neighbors have been, hey, you're stuck on some ice. And I'm like, I don't have to go anywhere. Don't worry about it. But a day or maybe two ago, I got in the car and I turned the car on and I put on the heater and the frost really high. And I thought maybe I could melt the ice that was underneath of it. It was a very small little chunk of ice. Well, when I got in the car and realized I dug a hole, big giant hole in the mud, I looked at my gas tank and it was empty and the gas light was on. I am thinking that a day or two ago, I turned it on in my front yard, the driveway, and forgot. And it's just been running. I know that I had a half a tank. Now I have no gas. Oh man. Don't you hate when you do something stupid? So I don't know what happens next, but I have to take a little walk to the gas station and fill up a gas can full of gas. My wife told me, hey, I think there's some from the lawnmower in the garage. I don't know, but it's just like a stupid thing. And then on top of this, I had an egg yesterday, and I think I was feeding the chickens or walking by, and I said, "Oh, look, an egg here. Let me grab it." And I went and put it on the stand behind my television, and then I found another egg, and I went, no, 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 no. I picked it up, and I go walking up the steps after I found out that I had this stupid car problem. And I went, let me put that other egg in the refrigerator. And somehow, who knows when, maybe hours ago, I have no idea, but I dropped the egg and it's behind the TV, busted. So that was exciting. Now I got to clean up that stuff. And oh, did I do it right away? No, no, I'm going to do it later, of course. Ah, the only good news is I made some stew today, and I made it from the stew meat that I get from 11 Oaks Farm, sent to me in the mail, I guess you would call it, a package, whatever you want to call it. And hey, let me show you how that went, okay?
Got some carrots. I like them. I like to clean them in white vinegar. I keep them kind of big. Celery, same thing. Clean it in the white vinegar. Put them together. Add a little bit of onion. I'm not using a lot of onion because of the dogs. But here's the stew meat. It's Wagu. 11 Oaks Farm. I just started kind of washing the beef. Sear it up. The vegetables I seared too. And then I just took them out. Sear, sear, sear. Add some liquid. I just started skimming that too. I never used to skim soups or stews. Looks clear now, huh? Potato tie. I like that the stew meat is big and the vegetables are big. Here we go, all together in the pot. Time will tell. Don't rush this stuff. So I was telling somebody that I couldn't find my cell phone and I didn't know where it was. And I thought it was in the kitchen. I could put it out and I put it on the counter. And it's like, where is this cell phone? And then today I decided to make some toast. And I have a 4 slot toaster, commercial one. And I put a couple pieces in and I put the toaster on. And then the whole kitchen exploded because apparently the cell phone went into the slot of the toaster and I didn't know it. And then I turned it on. No, 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 no. I'm just kidding. But it's not even funny. But that's the day that I'm having. If that happened, I wouldn't even be surprised. Because guess what else happened? I have to take a whole bunch of breaths here. Today, well, let me start off by saying, yes, I'm a Catholic. I might not be a good Catholic, but now I'm thinking I'm a really, really bad Catholic because it's like 6 o'clock at night and it's Sunday, and I just found out it was Easter. I don't know what's up with me anymore. Old age, I guess. Well, my friends, thanks for spending some time with me. That's my 2 cents. 2 cents from a poor man. That's my 2 cents, and it's in the bank later on. Almost
Thanks.
forgot. This is a tunic from that movie Knight's Tale. Sir William, what tunic will you wear?
Project engineer Bill Z says when the rocket lands on the moon, the crew will lower a very long, strong cable to Florida.